This is just a quick disclaimer before you watch the review. I got a couple of things wrong. First and foremost, the boat is actually nearly 50-year-old, not 20, not 25. So I was a little bit out there. And secondly, any issues that I described during this video were resolved by Richardson's literally within minutes of our arrival back at the boatyard. So enjoy the review. Any issues that I mention have been resolved, and they were resolved very, very quickly. And the one thing I didn't say is, will we hire this again? Yeah, we would. We definitely would. Anyway, enjoy the review. Thank you. So, a review of Broadland Orion. What do we think? Well, this is a centre cockpit older boat. There's no two ways about it. This boat has got to be 25 years old. It was what's the word when it's done up? Yeah, well, it was done up in 2007 apparently, so that it might even be older than 25 years. But it is, to say the least, it is a bargain basement cruiser, and also it's not for people who are not energetic enough to be getting in and out to get this canopy off. This canopy is hard work. I'd like to think that both Lisa and I are pretty fit and we can sort of get on and do things, but it is hard work getting this on and off. The sides are very heavy. It's really difficult to clip up. The minute the tension comes off and it loses its, you know, where it's been stretched, you have to really fight to get it back on. What issues have we had? A couple. The throttle control, the Morse control on this boat will not sit at the revs that you leave it at, which means you've got to, it'll sit at 1100 revs and then quite happily, but when you go up to 1400, or it says 1400 on one, 1500 on the other, same as the height gauge, it says 6'8" on one, 6'9" on another. As soon as you go above 1100 revs, it really doesn't like staying, so you have to hold the Morse control in place. If you're tall, then, well, if you're not tall as well, I mean, Lisa's 5 foot and she's hit her head on that countless times. I find it really difficult getting it out of this door. I'm 6'2" and a bit, nearly 6'3". And for Lisa, the view when she is driving, you just cannot see over the bow of the boat. But it is, as I say, it is an older cruiser. So, accommodation wise, what have you got? So if we sort of come down here, down the steps. Now remembering we've had to use this as a storeroom. This is the front V cabin. Now allegedly it's got heating in here. It really is, it really doesn't work. It gets very, very cold in here. Most of the heat gets transferred to the rear cabin, which means if you were using it as, you know, you were going to use this as your bedroom, that the rear cabin as your living accommodation, the bedroom is very cold. So I mean, does it need a bigger heater? Probably. Are Richardson's going to pop one in? I doubt it. I can't tell you how comfortable the beds are because we've not slept on them. But there's, you know, there's ample storage. You've got storage under here, both sides, and you've also got little wardrobes both sides. Your escape hatch is up there, and as I say, you can see we're actually using this as a storage area. But it's obviously done a lot of people for a long time. So right in here, sliding door. This is your shower room. Shower is lovely, toasty and warm. Issues are that all the water sinks to that end and then sits there because you can't get it forward this end. So again, probably been like it for years, but the shower is really nice. It's really warm. It does what it says on the tin. The door is broken. Once you shut this door, it actually flops off of the runners and comes out. So, and in the other side is the toilet. So standard toilet, foot on there to empty it out, and then push the flush button to flush the toilet. So back up the steps, in down here is the engine. This is where every day we've been following the I've had to get leased, so every day we've been following the guides to, bear with me, to check everything. There seems to be again, every boat I've had near enough a really dry bilge. That to me looks a bit wet, but there you go. I don't know what the engine is. I don't know. Normally it's got it on top, but I can't see. It looks like it's just all been sprayed blue. But yeah, that's the engine. Let's drop that down. Yeah, the seats are comfortable. You can't see anything when you're sat there. You can't really see a lot over out the windscreens, but you can see out the side. So then it's down the steps into the galley area. Now, Lisa's relaxing.
Hello.
Hello. So, ample cupboards, storage, drawers, radio. This boat does have Wi-Fi, which is switched on under there. It also has, so this is a 12-volt boat, but it does have an inverter for the television, because the television isn't 12 volt. Now, as you can see, we've got our Jackery with us, which, to be quite honest, has provided all of our power during the time we've been away. And all we've done is, while we've been cruising, is plugging it in and charging it up. So again, storage cupboards, LED lights up here, and LED light back there. Old style light bulbs. That one doesn't really work. It is on, but it isn't doing anything. And a Waco fridge. So this one is actually damaged here. It won't. It keeps sliding out. It works brilliantly. It's, you know, it keeps the stuff. We've got a freezer section which is kept lovely and cold.
Cooker's lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm looking that out and taking it home.
Yeah, it's a gas cooker. So Lisa actually loves it because we've got an electric cooker at home. She just doesn't do electric cookers. And hot water. This, I think, is a little bit dangerous because you turn it off, the tap moves. and then you have to then push that back, and that gets red hot. So I will let the boatyard know about that. Filtered drinking water. It's got a filter on it, so yes, it's the same as that. That has a filter, so it means that any water you drink, you don't have to boil. It comes out of there filtered. The clock, which is wrong, and a very, very comfortable seating area, which, because it was so cold in the V berth, we've been using this as a double bed, and to be honest, I've slept like a log. Haven't you?
Yeah, fantastic.
Absolutely slept like a log. So what can we tell you about the pros and cons of this boat? Oh, let's sit down. I'm glad to move your cup just in case the coffee goes everywhere. So, pros of this boat.
Do you want me to put this down then?
Yeah, for a minute.
Okay.
So the pros of this boat is that, including... Was it something I said? Including a £150 diesel deposit and a non-returnable damage waiver deposit, which I think was £45, which I think, in all honesty, yeah, these boats do get damaged, but to have a non-refundable one, if you take back a boat that isn't damaged, I think it's kind of unfair that they keep that, because as well as the higher cost, they're saying, well, we're going to take this.
Is it optional or?
No, it is you've got to pay it.
Right. Well,
you know,
you've entered into the contract that they've provided, so you haven't really got.
Oh no, there isn't. But I just think it's. I don't think it's right. If you look after the boat, if you take it back in the condition that you received it in, then I think that should be refunded.
Oh, I'm going again. Tiring this holiday.
It's holidaying like it's tiring, isn't it? So, what do you like about this boat?
It feels very familiar, because, as I say, it is like being in a camper van. It is tired looking, got to say.
Yeah.
The boat's grown on me as the time's gone on, because it is easy. You know, we've cooked, we've ate on the boat. There isn't a lot of room when the table's up, is there?
No.
You can't walk around when the table's up. There is absolutely no way I would be on this boat with 2 other people.
No, it is.
It's just not big enough for 4 people at all.
Yeah.
In my view, because this bit in the front becomes a double bed. I suppose if you had 2 small children, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ideal for a family with kids.
I still don't know where you'd put all the bedding. The bedding would be out all day.
Yeah. Well, unless you stored it where we're storing it.
Yes, but then where would you put your suitcases and all your stuff?
How do you? Because to be honest, you've done most of the driving of the boat. How have you found it?
Oh, it's easy peasy. It's a lovely, easy boat. I mean, you're going so slow anyway.
Yeah.
I've never driven another boat like this, so I've got nothing to compare it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact you've got the versatility that you can take the roof off and the sides down.
Which has been, with the weather we've had... with the weather we've had is really good. As I said, the issue is that you have to be 2 pretty fit people to get that roof on and off, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, if you're not very tall, it's difficult to see out of this boat. Like I said, I think I've said before, in its day, it's lovely, and we've been lovely and warm. It's comfortable.
It's dry.
It's yeah. It does everything that you want it to do. But I do think possibly, as part of their hire out fleet, it's in its latter years, don't you?
Yeah. I think this has seen the last of its years. It's a tired boat. It goes lovely, but it's a tired boat. You know, there has been a few people who've said, "Oh, I thought that was I thought they'd sold that. I thought that was private. I thought, you know." So, and we have seen boats that look newer than this that are in private ownership that are obviously ex-hire boats.
I did think the outside would. I mean, I don't know how quickly things get dirty here, but the boat itself hadn't been sluiced or washed. Or
No, I mean, when we watched them clean this boat
inside.
Yeah, we watched them clean it. They was on it for about, I don't know, tops 10 minutes, and I noticed when I got in and we started using things, the cups were dirty, the grill pan had you know, someone had done toast in it, it still had bread in it, the kettle was covered in grease, the cooker hadn't been cleaned properly, the windows of the boat, I mean, I'll show you, as you see that there, them marks on the window. Oh, you can't really see it with the sunlight, but as you see that, I don't know whether that's inside, that's outside, that, you know, that hadn't been cleaned.
Having said that, all the bedding was beautifully
Oh
clean,
yeah,
smelled nice. And
yeah. I mean, I'm not. This is not a what can we run the boat down for. I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't.
You know,
to be fair, I've done a fair bit of the cooking, and I didn't notice anything was untoward.
Yeah, I noticed that when we first got on here, I pulled the grill pan out. It's little things. But you know, if you was to, the way I look at it is, if you was to hire a chalet or an Airbnb for a week and you went in and the cooker was dirty or it hadn't been cleaned properly, you'd probably have something to say about it.
I think you must be a bigger moaner than me.
No, I'm not a moaner. I just believe that if you pay for something, then it should be right. And admittedly, I've not spoke to Richardson's. I've not given them a chance to address.
Well, the woman did say they were using contract cleaners, didn't they? The day that we picked up the boat. I mean, I couldn't really fault the inside of the boat. It was the outside. When you put your hand, I mean, I sat out on the front there. It's absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
So this boat hasn't been cleaned on the outside for a while.
Yeah.
And I just thought they would have sluiced boats down.
Yeah.
Between people hiring them, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
What else do I have to say? So the boat, when we picked it up, hadn't been filled up with water because we used one night, showered, and then when we filled up with water, we had one shower, and what we do is turn the water on, wet ourselves, turn the water off, much like you would do on a campsite, so you save water. And the tank was empty. My other concern is that you rightly pay £150 fuel deposit. Got no problem with that at all. You use fuel while you're on the Broads, while you're cruising, while you're heating. I've got absolutely no problems paying that deposit. My issue is, we arrived at the yard at just after 11 o'clock and I was walking around the yard trying to find a boat. Well, I found a boat and it was sitting there with the engine running at just after 11 o'clock. When we took the handover of the boat at 3 o'clock-ish, it was still running. So the boat had been sitting there running all that time, using diesel. So we've been told when we get back, the first thing they'll do is fill the boat up and tell us how much diesel we've used. Now, because we run out of water near enough, I when we did our first night stop, I dipped the diesel tank. I found a bit of wood and I dipped the diesel tank,
and there was probably just over 3/4 of a tank of diesel. There was not a full tank of diesel in this boat. Now, this is something I will raise with Richardson's, because if they're now going to top this up and charge me for a full tank of diesel, I think that's unfair. Again, I've not addressed this with them yet, and they might be, you know, they might make some allowance for that. I've got no idea, but if they don't make an allowance for it, I feel that is unfair. To have the boat sitting there ticking over for 3, nearly 4 hours, and then take that off of the charge for off of you. So
why did they have the boat running then?
I don't know.
Because I didn't notice all the. It would have been very noisy if all the.
Well, there was a couple of boats running. So this one was running, and the 1-2 down was running. Whether they just moved it round before, whether it was the battery was low, I don't know. Whether this boat had been hired out before, or whether it had just been brought round. Again, I can't answer because I don't know. But as I say, I dipped the tank, and there was probably just over 3/4 of a tank of diesel on our first night. So I really don't know. But overall, would I hire this boat again? Yes, I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
I've banged my head far too many times.
Yeah, I mean, if we had a short break, we wanted a boat, and they said, "Oh, the only one we've got is Broadland Orion." Yeah, I'd hire it because it's a comfortable bargain basement cruiser. Would I hire it again if I had the choice of another boat? Maybe not. I'd like something a little bit newer. I'd like something with probably a little bit more headroom.
I know, but so have we got what we've paid for then?
Yeah, I mean, again, ironically, when I was looking for boats that would take Winnie. And when I ticked the box saying we need a boat that will allow dogs, it brought up this. And this was not, I have to say, this was not the cheapest boat they had. The cheapest boat they had was about £70 or £80 less.
But there's loads over here with dogs.
Yeah, this is my question. Was it a case of this is what Ho Season said?
I would say more than 50% of the people that we've seen have got dogs on the boat.
Yeah. So
I would want. See, we're sat now in
inside.
the boat. Now, if you just turn the camera around, this is all we can see. Bring it down to my level. This is all I can see. I cannot see out of the boat at all. Whereas the other boats, I think, once you're inside, you can actually see out better than this, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
But I suppose, you know, the best view for me from this boat when we're moving is that back window, but you can't sit out the back.
No, and we noticed there was.
Well, you can't sit outside on this boat at all.
Not really. No. Well, you could climb around and sit on the front if you wanted to.
But that's not very safe, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not designed for you to do that.
No, it's
and
not.
I would have quite liked there to be, there is a bench seat out the front here, but once you're sat down, you cannot see anything.
Yeah.
Even you wouldn't be able to see anything.
No, that's true.
So it's not really made for purpose, I don't think. But hey ho.
Well, I know it's horses for courses, and this is just our opinion. You know, you might have hired this boat and absolutely loved it, or in this boat use it and think, wow.
I don't mind this boat from getting from A to B, but as a boat to view where you're going, it's not brilliant, is it?
No. Right, this is our review of Broadland Orion. I hope you find it useful. If you have hired this boat and you want to make a comment, that would be really good. That'd be absolutely brilliant to hear your views, what you found. As I say, this is we're not critics. All we're doing is just giving you our opinion of what we have found.
When we're inside the boat and we're eating or sleeping or using it like you would a camper van,
yeah,
it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But to use it to view the Broads on,
yeah,
we have. I mean, I have to stand up the whole time
yeah.
to be able to see. You know, and so that's not great. Probably good for my legs, but good. But yeah, and if you, yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
We will hire something else and we shall compare it. We'll have something to compare.
We're making it sound like we're having a good time. We've had a lovely
Oh,
time.
a brilliant time. Yeah.
It is difficult when you're asked to critique something because you tend to sound negative, and everything we've said obviously does sound very negative. But we have had a lovely time. We have worked it out. We take the top off, which has been brilliant because the weather's been fine. As soon as you take the top and the sides down, this boat is brilliant. But if the weather's not great, you couldn't do that.
No.
So we have been able to make the most of it, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We have. Right, if you've found the review useful, or if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you don't already, please subscribe and
ring the bell for notifications.
Right. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.